You still have money and you feel like buying clothes. I mean, there's nobody there to say no.
New York, the epicenter of the global financial crisis, ought to be the best place to study fashion's response to world events.
I think the week's been better organized. The shows that we've seen have been much more focused.
This was a fashion week where you didn't feel like it was about having the maximum number of celebrities in the front row. You were really focusing on the clothes.
Less parties, but more shows and more quality.
You know, we wanted to be responsible in terms of the amount of money we spent on the show. We cut back the crowd. There were no celebrities.
It's moving away from the celebrity culture and into something real.
We have 2 Harvard grads in the White House. It's a new time.
Everybody is thinking much more creatively about what their design philosophy is.
I think it's a time to collect oneself and get back to every person to their own basics.
This is a moment to be serious about what you're doing.
I think that it's really a survival time.
Knowing that you did your very best, that's what counts.
I thought that Oscar was particularly good in his sense of color. That was really optimistic and beautiful.
What stands out for you from the week?
Day glow colors, particularly at Marc Jacobs.
We saw blues and orange and yellow and green.
What is the bright color in any urban capital? It's neon.
I love the neon. The whole trend toward fur, some in bright colors, some very natural, real, fake, whatever.
I've actually treated wool as if it were fur.
That certainly is going to make people happy again now during this new depression. Nouveau depression.
I think what we need to see this season are smaller collections with a real point of view.
I don't really need to see 50 looks, you know? If you have 25 that say something, I'd rather.
For me, it's the young ones that are coming through.
We saw an awful lot of very protective clothing. We saw armorial clothing, like barbarian queens color.
More than ever, women need to be reassured by their clothes.
You want studs on it, you want that plating or things that are kind of layered and give you this volume, create that kind of protection.
You're calling me a barbarian queen.
I feel like all the great American designers have really gone back to the roots. Marc Jacobs, to me, going back to the 80s, punk rock, club scene.
It's a kind of optimistic way of looking at what fashion can do, how you can have outsized colors, outsized shoulders, outsized hair.
Looks kind of 80s to me. You know, the heels, the platforms, the zippers.
There was definitely an 80s vibe. However, that being said, I hated the 80s. That was a tough time, but the idea was you were getting through it with your shoulder pads intact, and maybe that's going to get us through again.
I know that I'm very happy with my shoulder pads right now.
And if you had to walk home, Proenza Schooler gave you the heeled hiking boots to do it in.
Absolutely. And that's the idea of this fashion week. No one is going to mess with you in these clothes.
Are people going to buy it? I don't know. But I mean, are people going to buy anything? I mean, I hope.
Fashion can't change the world and it can't change the situation that we're in right now, but it can make us all feel good.
I loved this week.
Put on your high heels and keep going.
On to Milan.